A guy who knows his pull-out game is weak would know, and he knows that that's a problem he has faced before. It's something you know you have to exclusively mention if you know your pull-out game is weak.
What up, people? It's your favorite podcast man back again with another one. I'm Michael Scenario.
I'm Muriel Wagunkoya.
And you are back on Menisms. How far? How you doing, G? You good?
Yeah, not bad.
How's life treating you? How's Lagos treating you?
Yeah, flu wanted to kill me last week, but
you're alive. You're here.
We back up.
Thank God. And shout out to all you guys that are joining us again. Make sure you subscribe to all our audio channels, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Audio Mac. Again, shout out to all of you that keep subscribing, that keep following, that keep commenting. We appreciate you. And yeah, man, I mean, we're here. We're going to jump straight into the topic. I know usually we read comments and everything, but there was something we're talking about off camera that we're like, you know what, let's actually talk about it. And that is of birth control. Now, obviously, when we hear of birth control, we obviously think of it from a woman's perspective in terms of her being on birth control, the side effects of birth control, how that handles it, how that affects her, etc. But then for us as guys, you don't really talk about it outside in terms of birth control, in terms of your thoughts about it, your thoughts when your girl or a girl you're seeing is on it, you know, if there was a male birth control pill. But let's just start with the basic in terms of birth control, in terms of, have you ever dated somebody or been with somebody that's on birth control?
Actually, I think starting with the basics is even knowing the kinds of birth control. So I know the ones that are really popular are, of course, condoms, right? And then there's the pills, the Plan B pills, and then there's ones where they have to actually medically, go to a center, maybe either get injected or
an implant,
right? So, I think those are the only ones I really know of right now.
I would guess off head, but like I said, it's for people to educate us if we don't.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, I mean, what have I been with? Yes, I have been with someone who's actually used implants, right? And I have heard, that it definitely comes with some harsh, side effects and stuff. But I've never been in a situation where someone like had a medical emergency because of the implants. Again, of course, this is only my own personal.
So when you say you've been with somebody, were you with somebody in a point that you guys were in a long-term relationship or in-depth relationship that you would see how she is with the birth control and all, or is it just a case that, like, it was just an occasional thing that when you guys are having sex, like, you already know she's on the pill and all that? Right,
okay, I see what you mean. Okay, asking if I ever saw her actually take.
So it's like, for me now, I've had girlfriends now, and even like the girl I'm seeing now, like, she's on the pill. And then there's also the other side of girls I've dated that I knew they were on the pill, but doesn't mean I still, we'll talk about that, but because I'm about to say, doesn't mean, I'm about to say for all the guys there, just because she's on birth control doesn't mean, but.
So, I mean, it doesn't change anything for me. I mean, yes, there are times when, you kind of want to take the difference?
Like, what I'm saying is, have you been with somebody in a long term, like a boyfriend, girlfriend, or you are seeing exclusively that she's on birth control?
I wouldn't. Maybe my ex-girlfriend, I would say, but it wasn't an implant. It was like the morning after pill. It was a morning after pill, and I think that's the closest I've been to being with someone who I would consistently see take a pill that I was with long term, stuff like that. Every other time has always been, the longest term was maybe about 3 months.
Fair.
Right. Of knowing that someone was consistently on the pill and stuff like that. But at the same time, I never asked too many questions because, again, it's almost like there was no room because there were no like emergencies.
Or would you also say the relationship wasn't to that level that you ask those kind of questions? Because there's nothing wrong in that.
No. Actually, you're right. You're right, because if she was my girlfriend, I would be more intrigued.
Yeah.
I would want more details. Not just because she's my girlfriend, but like, there's so many things I would need to be aware of, right? And so many things I would need to learn so that if anything happens, I'm equipped with some knowledge. I would know what to do exactly.
So it's like, same as you, like when I dated girls before, like that were just on the pill, but it wasn't like official or anything.
Yeah.
I'm on that peace of mind because in the end, I'm still using the rubber and shit. You get what I'm saying? So last, if that thing should break, as guys would say, I'm safe.
Yeah.
But then my ex now, starting, at least if I do the timeline, like my ex now was on birth control, but that wasn't the implant. That
Okay.
was like the consistent pill. So it's not morning after. There's the birth control that you have to take the pill. Correct me if I'm wrong, viewers. That's why I said we're also educating ourselves. It was either every day or every other day.
Okay.
And most times I know it's every day. And like you said, because we were in a relationship, that was the first time I was actually seeing what the pill does in terms of the effect it has on a woman. Because obviously for me, it's just like, hey, like, we good, right? Like, yeah, we good. All right, cool. You're taking your pill. But then, like, when I'll see how she would react to it, like, after some days now, like, you start seeing the side effects, especially when they start having their periods. So it's like, as a guy, I ain't gonna lie, that's what sort of it's weird. Actually, I haven't talked about this before, but I would say that's what calmed me down. Because think about it, the other girls you were with before, right? You're not in that serious, in-depth relationship that you say you care, but you don't really get to that level of finding out things. How you said that if she was your girlfriend now or something, you'll be wanting to find out more. So for me, obviously, it's my girl. I want to find out everything. So that's when I'm starting to ask questions more. Then I'm seeing how she reacts. Like if she's having her period now, like some women now, they have delayed periods because of the pill now or something. Or they might bleed more because of the pill. Or
I've seen like even imbalances in your periods. Like,
exactly.
It's meant to come this week, it's coming a week before.
Exactly. And little things like that happens to them, like somebody said like spotting, all those different stuff that
sometimes,
exactly, that is like, yo. And again, this is the girl you care about that you're like, fuck. Like, and there's nothing you can really do about it because she's doing it because of you.
So you know the funny thing, so this is a good angle to the conversation because there's this thing that happens, you know, in the dynamic between like men and women where the guy is saying because he doesn't want to use protection, he's trying to make her use
the birth control,
pill. And this is a good conversation because a lot of the guys that are saying this do not know the side effects. They don't know the consequences. They just believe that it's just to stop pregnancy now. Once you take it, you're okay, you know. And I guess this is good because having this knowledge, I mean, like you just said, it's settled you down, right? So having this knowledge actually puts you in a lot of perspective where you have to begin to think, okay, so is that even something that is okay to make someone take? I don't know if that makes sense. So, you know, there's some guys.
So the thing is,
there's some guys that get careless.
Now, don't forget, it's not at times, like you said, it's some guys that will push it upon their girl to use it, while some women use it for their own self. Like, for example, like, my girl chose to use it, you understand? Because even me, I didn't have the education. Then there's girls I've met that are on it for themselves. Because you also have some girls that have to use it for other medical reasons. Like, for example, like this girl that I'm seeing and all that is like, they have to use it because it regulates their periods and all that. And that's for some people that were on different kind of contraceptives. Like, I know the implant now, for example. Okay. To me, I can't lie. That's always I ain't gonna lie. If we like seeing and all that, that's my safe bet. Like, if she's on the implant, like, peace out. As a guy, it sounds bad. I'm just speaking from a male's perspective. Imagine like when you hear implant, you're just like this, thank you, God. Because I ain't gonna lie, pill is different. Pill you have to be taking. Yeah. If you miss one or two, implants,
it gets complicated.
It did. So, you know, but then something like that, by the time you take it off, the effects after, you know, are a bit funny and all that. So that's why I said, like, for me, like, at this point now, I can't lie, like, it sounds funny now, but like now moving forward, will I be asking girls moving forward? I mean, I'm not obviously trying to be dating many women moving forward, but I'll just say, we can't, but I'm just saying, moving forward, it's like, for example, okay, let me ask you now. Like, you still have, obviously, like you said, you still want to educate yourself more about it, but you know about it. Do you ask girls to get on the pill?
This is a very interesting question, actually. And this is how I see it, right? We have both agreed that we are not trying to have children, obviously, right? Even if we're just casually saying. So what I always believe is that the women know their bodies better than I do. So I imagine that they know what they need to. So I don't say take the pill or I hope you took the pill, stuff like that. Because most times I'm not even finishing in you, right? I'm not. Yeah. Because that's also my own assurance. Yeah. Most times I'm not finishing in her. So that's usually my own assurance. In fact, if I'm finishing in person, that's someone I'm seeing consistently. Do you get like that's... It's never.
You've never had a case that has happened.
Never. wait. I mean, if we're talking about that, I've had pregnancy scares. Because I
Okay.
think we talked about that like in one of our episodes. Yeah, I have had pregnancy scares, but I mean, like, if I'm just in my phase of just being single and I don't take that
kind of
carelessness.
risk.
Yeah. So there's no condition I could possibly be in. I can't be drunk. I'm never just.
So
that
what I'm saying
careless.
is like, so for example, it's like there's some girls now, if it's just a casual thing, like we talked about in one of our episodes about casual sex and all. If it's casual, do you ask those questions early? Like, yo, you on the pill? Like I've asked some, I realized it was like, for me personally, as I got older, I started realizing it was a question like, unless it's a conversation that comes up, I don't really need to ask. It's like rude also, but there's a point. I mean, sometimes it still comes out, but I'm saying like then it's like I ask more like, yo, you on the pill? So I'm saying for you now, do you ask girls?
So I don't.
Or you don't ask?
I'll be honest, I don't. I don't. So, and I think it's a good question because now I'm thinking about why I don't, right? And I think again, like I said, it's because I'm also expecting some level of responsibility from the girl. And when I say responsibility, I mean she knows her body.
Interesting.
She knows her body.
So you're using a rubber every time then?
I won't say every time actually,
because then like you
which
said,
is why I'm also saying
just
that,
to bring up the topic.
No,
of
I
what
know.
They'll say, because even me, we're guilty of it too. Like if you say it's responsibility now, but you ain't using a rubber now, whose side is it on then?
And that's why I said. So you see, it's two things, because half the time I'm not using is also because the person doesn't want me to, right? Now, when that happens, the reason why guys are worried about that situation is because, one, you're worried, oh, maybe she's trying to trap me, maybe she's trying to this. That's why I said I never finish in. It never happens, right? That never happens. It was too good, I couldn't pull out.
Then if we are not wearing, and I don't want to be saying you because it sounds like I'm attacking you, but I'm not obviously right with perspective. But then if you are not wearing a rubber, no matter what guy, unless you are, even if you're saying your whole game is strong, you are still...
It's impeccable, not strong. But go on. Go on. I'm listening.
Even if...
the fear of children is higher than
still,
the enjoyment
you are still having
enjoying.
that high risk of saying like...
Oh, yes, I agree. I agree.
She can't know her body at that point unless she's literally... I don't know if a woman's ovulating, is that the time her pregnancy is high?
Yes, exactly. That's
imagine,
not the period.
Imagine, we don't know.
No, so there's you would... I mean, it's...
Because I ain't gonna lie, girls didn't start telling me till we were dating for
that
real.
That you're ovulating?
That you're ovulating. If not, why are they telling you?
Oh, no, that's irresponsible for me. Like, if you're ovulating and you don't say it, that's
if you're not dating seriously.
Fuck, I'm sorry, but that's not a dating exclusive.
No, it's not something.
No, but it's not.
I get where you're coming from, but
I don't think that's information that only someone that, in fact,
but
nowadays, women just get on Twitter, oh my God, I'm ovulating.
If you're casually fucking, why does she need to tell you that she's ovulating?
Because that's the window where she's most fertile.
So that's what I'm saying. So how do you know that? I'm saying the risk. That means
because now we're risk.
That means both of I will agree. I took the risk at some points in life, but it's like, damn, we wouldn't actually know, because how many girls are actually going to openly tell you I'm ovulating? I've only heard that from girls I'm dating for real.
So this is what I believe. I believe that because, again, it's supposed to be two adults having consensual sex, right? Ooh. I believe that if the risks are higher for whatever reason, that is information that is key.
And when a woman's ovulating, again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Yeah.
Isn't that when she's very horny?
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. So she doesn't tell you, you're saying that's irresponsible.
Yeah, literally. That's like me saying that, oh yeah, my pull-out game is weak, but we'll see how it goes. But every man's pull-out game can be weak. It takes a little... No. I'm not saying... I'm just giving you examples. Like, a guy who knows his pull-out game is weak would know, and he knows that that's a problem he has faced before. It's something you have to exclusively mention if you know your pull-out game is weak. If I know that pull-out game is weak, but I decide to withhold that information for whatever reason, maybe because I don't want... Because actually, thinking about it now, what reason would you have...
Is that the same as ovulating?
Wait, hold on. We're about to have sex. So obviously, we're in the place where... Bro, we're about to see each other naked. What possible? You don't need me to be your boyfriend to share some certain information for me, right? With me, rather. If we're about to have sex, right? And you feel like you don't want to tell me you're ovulating, let's think about it. What possible reasons can a woman have? It's what private information? At that point, nothing is private information. But then
it's like both. Okay, but for both sides now, it's like, who in their right mind, in the spur of the moment, is going to say either A, my pull-out game is weak, or 2, by the way, I'm ovulating. It's usually a woman that cares about, like, because consciously, she's going to think of these things like, damn, this is my guy, this is my man, that we've had these talks and all that, like, fuck, I'm ovulating. Like, let me just tell him the risk involved, because obviously when you guys are more in tune with each other, it's more likely that pull-out game ain't gonna be as strong. You understand? When you're like really together, compared to
that's other
compared
guys,
to
'cause I can't
when
speak,
let's not like, okay. So when you act like, for
bro.
example, if a girl's my girl, we going all out in this bitch.
That's
But then
that's
like,
what I told you, that so if we were talking about girlfriend,
but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, she's going to tell you, or a girl you're seeing seriously is going to tell you because she cares about, and she knows the risk involved, because even the level of the sex is going to be different.
Okay.
Then when a woman is just single and you guys just and she's ovulating, in her mind already, she's already like, I am going to do everything in my power to not get pregnant. But she doesn't know who her partner is going to be unless it's a regular nigga that she's seeing. So what I'm saying is, if she happens to catch you in that week, you guys went out, went to a party, clubbing, like she's still normal and fine. You guys lit, go back to the spot. You're about to do it in that moment. It's more than likely she ain't gonna think about ovulating at that point, because even her, that's what I'm saying, she's gonna be thinking from a selfish point of view, and I don't say in a negative way, in terms of she's just thinking of herself, because you're not her man, that I'm ovulating. But to her, she's like, I know what I would do to handle myself to not get pregnant. But that's what I'm saying. For you, it's like telling you.
Yeah, so you're not still getting my point. I'm not saying these things don't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's literally irresponsible. Like, it doesn't change the fact that it does happen, but it's irresponsible. I'm sorry. Like, if you're in your most fertile window and you know, except we're not having unprotected sex. Like, it's protected sex, even though that's not fully guaranteed. Like you said, condom can break, whatever, anything can happen. If it's protected sex, I can understand her not mentioning it, because it's protected sex. I mean, we've kind of, we've taken out all the measures to make sure we don't.
There we go. Okay. But then if it's raw.
But if it's unprotected sex and you still don't mention that you're in your unsafe zone and you're highly, I'm sorry, but that's the responsible.
So it's the same way. So that same standard, you're saying the same for the guy, that if she lets you have unprotected sex and you don't say your pull-out game.
Yes, exactly.
Which I said, how many guys are actually going to say that shit?
And that's my point. See, whether it's one guy out of 300 or if it's 299 out of 300, it's irresponsible nonetheless.
For both, okay.
If you don't say that, oh, this might happen, you're not preparing her. See, me saying that my pull-out game is weak is letting her know that she's either going to prepare her mind that that's a possibility, and now she has to either take the pill after in the morning, or at that point she's deciding, okay,
because
you know what?
The reason I say
we're not doing
also,
any unprotected sex.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay,
it's surprising I'm saying this, because I want to play devil's advocate. Because even one time we're going to have this conversation again with the woman to understand her perspective, but just us as guy men talking, is that it's still irresponsible from us then if we go raw and she ain't our girl. I agree. So it really starts, I mean, it doesn't start from us, because it's both sides agreeing to it. I agree. But no matter what the pull-out game is, the fact you going raw, you are the one putting the risk more. So is it not more on us? I'm
not picking sides on who has more.
No, I know you're not. I'm just asking, like,
so I mean, yeah, fully. I think I agree. So if you are going raw and is she? Actually, it doesn't matter whether she's opposing to being raw. No, I'm not talking about ovulating. I mean, like, if she's opposing, and some guys would insist on going raw. If she's
opposing, then that's a whole different case that starts.
Okay, but if both sides agree, you're going raw. Yeah, of course, naturally, like, you are prepared in your mind for the possible consequences. That's how I see it. If something happens and she doesn't get to take the pill, right, and maybe you kind of come in her or whatever it is, and there's now the consequence of having a child. I'm sorry, but that's the part where I have to now say, oh, right, I was responsible for doing this, and I have to take responsibility because I agree. There's no way. You see, one thing about me is that I'm never going to push responsibility to the other side of the table, and that's the truth, right? But I'm never also going to say that because I'm taking responsibility, then it's just falling on me. If she has no part to play, we're having unprotected sex, and it's both parties have consented to it, and we both know the consequences of this, but we're going ahead because, of course, I'm guessing people would also think, oh, but if you know the consequences, why are you going on? But the opposite sex is nicer. I'm sorry, but it's nicer.
But then, you know what's funny? I had a situation, and it's not to say I'm perfect, but there was one situation I had that made me, like, having just this kind of thought process or thinking.
Yeah.
Final year of uni. My boys only know this story, but final year of uni. We have a house party at the end of the year. I throw a house party, it's the end of the year. We actually graduating, because I didn't think I'll graduate at that time, but we, did very well. Graduated, got all my people together. Big house party in uni. Now, there was a girl I used to see at the time, right? That was in like 2 years below me and all that. So I'm in 4th year, she in like 2nd year and all that. So we were seeing at one point in the year, then we stopped seeing, and it was on and off and all that. That kind of casual thing. House party goes by. It's been a good time. Everybody's lit. All that. At the end of the house party, during the house party, I'm drunk. She now sees me outside, like, oh, I want to talk to you. You know, when girls see you, like, I want to talk to you. Like, why do you want to talk to me here? I'm drunk. I'm tired. No, I just want to talk to you and all that. And fighting back and forth. Eventually, I gave in. Talk for a little bit. Then somehow, I'm drunk. She convinced me to go talk to her at her house. Because her house wasn't far from the house party. Saying, let's go to Mount Talk. I'm like, no. Stupidly, I went.
Okay.
Got to the house. Obviously, long story short, talk, and then did. Now, obviously at that time, because I had been seeing her before and all that, at that time, like, I brought a rubber for like the first round, and the second round is like, fuck it. Okay, cool. You know, and she doesn't tell me that, like, she's just like, are you cool? She just asked me, like, are you okay with it? I'm like, yeah, are you okay with it? She said, yeah, boom, do it. Like 2 days later now, like a few days later now, I just get a phone call saying, oh, I was going to tell you at the house party and all that, but I'm pregnant. I think I'm pregnant. So she already was saying that based off, like, from before the house party, she thought she was pregnant because of one time we saw, like, previously that. Okay. But then house party day we've now done and all that you're trying to tell me, and I didn't really comprehend. Then you call me a few days later saying, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant, bro. The fear that went into my body. I remember I broke down crying in my living room.
I'm sorry, but I listened.
I broke down crying. I'll never forget.
That killed me.
I get that phone call saying, I think I am. I'm not sure. I'm going to check. But and then she now said something I'll never forget. She's like, I ain't keeping it. But if it is true, but I just thought I'll let you know. Because I'll say a part of the story that makes it make sense and all that. Okay. So at that point now, I'm in my living room crying, bro. Like heavy tears. Because the first image in my head is my mother. And then my grandmother,
and I see how that would be a bad taste in my mouth.
So yeah. And then mind you, I'm in final year. We just did our final exam that same week, so I'm like, I'm just about to be at the finish line. This is coming. My boys now come from downstairs, see me crying. It's coming, and she's pregnant, all that, and you know when your guys know you that they're just shocked. They know you, but it's like it's like the way you know me now. I'm emotional, but it's like if you actually start crying, like, what the fuck is going on? So at the point they say, yo, bro, what's going on? I tell them the story. Have you gone to find out everything first before you? We do investigation research. Long story short, we found out this girl was living her best life. Living her best life. So she told us around the year, as in my young boys, my age mates, even older master students, all them. Now, she came to me because she liked me the most, and I was nice about it because she tried to go to one of my other boys that was from London, and I'm not saying this in a prideful way because it's wrong, but if you had gone to tell her who most likely was the guy, you'd have beaten her.
So wait. So question: do you is that you knew she was going raw? All these guys.
I didn't know. That's what I'm saying. At that time, I know until we now went to go ask questions. And
that's what I'm saying. So when you found out, you knew that she was going.
My young boy. Imagine your young boys are coming to tell you, like, you indirectly ask questions. Like, yeah, I hit that, man. When I was inside, you're like, what the fuck? And then you now find out about master students. You find out about your own guys. Because it's not like she was my girlfriend or anything. It was just casual. But like the risk now, there's so many other people involved. And then the worst part is, I'll never forget, during my master's year, I've gone to another university, new chapter in my life. My boy and I go out with some girls, right, that were our friends. So we're talking about stories in uni and all that. So I bring up this story, and because they're like, pregnancy thing, why are you so? And I'm like, this is why I'm cautious and shit. Do you know that one of the girls said, wait, the girl you're talking about, she from this area? Is she, what height? How is she? So she did it to you people too? Back home in our area. Damn. I said, ha!
Damn.
From that day,
so
bro.
It was like a thing for her.
That's why I said, I'm not even putting labels on. I've moved past that. But from that day, that's when I said, yo, no matter what, is me, like, as a man, it's actually me.
You're going to take your own side of
if I'm not even that, but more like, if I go raw, like, even this whole birth control, like, a woman can do it for herself, like, that's all on you. But really, that whole pregnancy thing is on me, because if I'm going raw on you, I'm taking the risk. Unless I see the pill, even if I see the pill, it can still be a risk, but at least peace of mind, I know. Like, that's what made me start changing up and all, bro. Because bro, that fear I had, in fact, I told you I cried.
Right.
And then it's like, obviously and it's funny how it's just pregnancy. A lot of times, guys, when they talk about these birth control contraceptives, we don't even talk about the other sides of it, like, STDs going raw, stuff like that.
Yeah.
How does it affect women? All those kind of questions. But let me ask you another question, since we're still talking about, like, the pill now. Like, if there was a male birth control pill, would you take it? However, you are going to have the same side effects that women have.
So I guess because I don't know the full length of the side effects, but
As
I
a
imagine
man,
that it's not something
not
they're
fully
happy
as a man.
about.
Okay, stuff like as a man that you will struggle is like, let's say, that's really for STD, but let's say for a birth control pill, they did it like every time you pee, it burns when you're on the pee. It has to be something, because with women now, like I said, you have to think of drastic things as a guy. That's why I said it's more like an STD. If you pee, it burns and all that. But for that period now, every time you take the pill, it's like once you bust it out, something once you bust it out, you're going to pee.
Funny enough, right? Thinking about it, exactly, it might not even be a hard no for me because
you have diarrhea, constant.
So I like to wait now. I understand that these things sound really harsh, but I'm someone who really likes to put things in perspective. If I have to take and it has those side effects, because I mean there are some pills that they tell you, or maybe they tell you after you use it you can't get hard for 2 days.
Yeah, or some kind of random shit.
Yeah.
But that's even that hard thing is still a soft thing compared to the physical thing in your body. You have to feel some kind of
pain,
after, not even immediately after, but in that period, there's a pain because women feel that pain. So that's what I'm talking about. There are pains, or your body's going to react in a different way.
So I think I will, but I'll probably now be a lot more picky about like who I decide to take the pill for, and exactly. I think I'll now be a lot more picky, and if I know that that's like my only way to go if I'm having sex, then like a lot of things will change naturally, of course, because I know that this sexual encounter is going to come with pain because I have to be responsible and take care of my own protection side of it and all that stuff. So I would definitely take it, but it just won't be something that I'll be popping as regularly,
Maybe it's because I'm a guy already, but I can't. I would. Anything, constant diarrhea. Pee where you burn.
But again, it's easy for me to say because it's easy for me to say. I might experience it one time now and be like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing this shit no more.
There's one day I saw
me and Jesus from now on.
Girl, I'm with now. Like I saw one day the effect of that pill and like the implant and shit. I was like, this girl is a soldier, because my God, like women are like they go through that pain. I'm like, I'll be crying like on some real shit.
If it's gonna be stuff that's going to leave me physically impaired, like I'm just like, I probably, I mean, like I said, it's easy for me to say, I'll take it. I can just take it now and be like, yeah, fuck this. Nope. So Jesus with my glory.
So let me ask one more question now, just along this now. So obviously we talked about the birth control pills now, but the day after pill.
Okay.
Now, have you ever, like, what's your scenarios with the day after pill? Because have you ever had to use the day after pill where you were like, it wasn't supposed to happen, she got to go get the pill kind of thing?
Yes, I agree. I would
like,
say
is there a case that it's just a casual thing, like, hey, you can get the morning after pill, or a situation made you go get that morning after pill?
So again, I've had a pregnancy scare. Well, like I said, I've had a pregnancy scare with my ex-girlfriend. So yes, we've been in situations where yes, my life was flashing from my eyes. Like, are we? Is this possibly happening? I'm gonna be a father now here. So yes, I have had those. I've had cases where the person was worried, but I know I didn't finish in them. But that kind of still worries. But I was certain, right? You get, but you know how these things happen again, where they say, "Oh, you can't be certain for sure, kind of thing." So, but I've never been in a situation where, well, will I say in recent times, I haven't been in a situation where someone needed to go take the pill. Like,
a long time ago, but I ain't gonna lie. There was one time I was in this doing this thing. This girl, pop. You just took it out. You just saw a circle like this on your penis.
Meaning that
the condom don't break. Every guy does. One year does doing, and then you just look. You just see a circular hole in the middle of your dick. You're like, wait, why is my skin showing? Oh my God! And then your life just flashes. Your life just like,
So you know the thing with the condom, I still pull out. Oh, I still pull out. My nigga, excuse me. You see me as I am like this. I bet you, even if I take,
I get what you mean.
Bro, see, there's no. I don't even take no. That's why when you were saying that. I don't take risks.
So that's why I said you have
With the
to
condom, I still pull out.
wisdom. Like that's why I say we talked about it before. Like even the kind of girls you messing with, I tell people I got to get to know you because if I'm fucking with you, not to you, I'm sorry, but if I have to still pull out.
Yeah, no, that's no for
if
me.
I still gotta pull out while using the condom, we shouldn't be together at that point.
You know why? You know, for me is that I've gotten to realize. I guess got to find out the hard way. Like when you're about to cross that line, people change. People come different. Like so when you realize that's what the possibility might be now, you see a whole different person from the person you've been fucking with, you know, on the regular. And when I got to find that out, I would say, yeah, you know what? There's no point having to get to that stage of complication because for now, this person is a cool person. If we get to that bridge now, they switch up on me and it starts becoming a whole thing. There's no need. It's not even going to get there. Like, I can only let someone who I know I'm actually liking towards the girlfriend thing to, but other than that, forget it. Like,
just go and get. So arguments about that pill thing. Those like, hey, go and get it.
If they use it because they're not sure, that's good and that's great. But if you're talking about on my end, we good on my end. Like there's no, because I have had times where the girl have to ask, "Oh, do I need to?" And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you can if you want to feel some security and all that stuff, but
you can't if you're almost. If you asking.
But like exactly. If you're asking that, it means like you need to. So, but for me, if it's with a condom, I will still pull out. I don't want to hear no stories. I'm not hearing no. Oh yeah, use the condom. I'm sure.
You know what's funny when you say that? I only like when I use condoms. Like there's only one brand I use, which is that Durex Extra Safe.
Oh, I even
blue.
Stopped.
No, the blue. No, the thing I had to stop. It's too hard. Like it's too hard on you sometimes. But that Durex Blue Extra Safe now, unless it's Magnum. That's it. Those are the only two brands.
So no, I use Skins. So Skins.
I don't like Skins.
Skins for me, if it's not Skins, I don't even bother.
Skins to me is too risky.
Why?
It's not. You know when you got
that trauma really.
That's why I said that hard. Like, when you go like this, when you flick it, then you understand. Like, okay, we're safe. Like that's why I said the fact that I still have to think
Skins for me all the way. So, but then again, this is us giving them free branding. Please, you guys should run us our check.
Durex and Magnum. If you're hearing this free sponsorship,
run us our check, please. Yeah. So, but I do agree that there are times when you know, guys. And again, I think for me, that's usually the one where I have the problem. Guys are irresponsible, then they be like, okay, but at least you can take the pill now.
I just thought of a story. Have you ever been with a girl that says she's on the pill, but you have not validated it?
That's what I said on my own case.
And during sex, she now sells come in me.
Yes, of course I have. I look and I laugh. Me.
No. Is it because it's very easy for us men to say this until you've been put in some situations?
Did you hear me? I said I pull out with condoms. I pull out with condoms on. So now imagine where you're telling me which my I'm on the pill. We're safe. We're not safe. Nothing. No. Because I have had. So you see, they say the feeling. Of course, I don't know what the feeling can be like, except for the person that is actually receiving. So, but they say, oh yeah, the feeling is really nice. That that they want to feel. I said, yeah, you can feel it somewhere else.
So what's funny is my ex. Feel it with me. Like my ex, it's my ex. My girl says it now. Like that's the difference. Any girl that's my girl. If you're my girl, like obviously you can say it. But I had one situation. One girl got me like that long time ago, very long time ago, but. In that moment, I can't lie to you. This is another situation that I said made me just know myself as a man. Right then and there, she said it. I was ready to take that risk. No, she was set.
You're ready to be a father of twins.
She get money. She did,
So regardless of the
Americano. So even at that, America, they're ready. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Yeah.
Can't often care So at that point, I remember I was looking. I was like, this close. At that last second, I was like this. No, and then you have to just run up. But I think I was this close to take that charge. Apart from that, God forbid. If you ever tell me that kind of thing, you're not my babe.
Like I said, if it's someone that I'm seeing that it seems like we might be getting on that, want to be a girlfriend, boyfriend type of, or like we've been seeing long term. So I know that those ones once in a while we do some risky shit. Once in a very long while, but that's because we both know. You and I know both of us are not ready to be parents. We understand that that's where we are, kind of thing.
So
right?
The last question I have for you then is, if the contraceptive doesn't work,
I don't even wait. I pull out on any kind of level.
If the pull out doesn't, that's what I'm trying to say.
If it doesn't work,
any of the matters we've just mentioned now don't work, and the pregnancy comes,
I'll have to take responsibility. I have to So I mean, I'm sorry, but it might not be convenient for my life, but these are the things I'm risking as
Even
I'm
if it's
having
with
the sex.
somebody you don't want it with.
Honestly, I would have to take responsibility.
Fair.
That's the truth. Like I might hate the process, but I'm a contributor. So there's no. It's not like she woke up, took my sperm from somewhere, and impregnated herself.
I've thought about it now as I go. Obviously, when you're younger, say God forbid. Now it's like you still say God forbid until I'm married. But it's like you said, you have to still start maturing in your mind. Like, oh more God. It sounds funny. You're still saying God forbid because in the end, now they do the act. But if it happens, you'll be ready to step up. But like you said, you want it to be in the right situation. Like that's why I said situations like that had to make me think, God, I just want kids when I'm married because I don't want to bring any child out of wedlock.
And then it gets
But then at the
complicated.
same time,
and
if you
stuff like
fucking raw every time, like, hey, you're
that. It's bound
risking
to
it.
happen.
But hey, that was a good. That's why I said it was a good conversation we had. Just learning more. Like
Yeah.
again, ladies, we don't know everything about contraceptives. If there are things we got wrong, if there are things we need more education on, please let us know, and that way we can educate ourselves. Because like I said, not every guy is going to know the ups and downs of contraceptives. I'm lucky enough, like I said, in my relationship, I learned more, and then Muri right now has been in a relationship that he's not learned a lot about it yet. So it's like it still takes a process for guys in different stages. But even for the guys too, educate yourselves more because there are going to be periods like the girl you're with seriously might be on it, and even the girl you're not with officially, she might be on it. So learn about it more. But yeah, I mean, good conversation. I mean, do you want to give plugs, anything, tell people where to find us?
So again, before he chops my head off, I make clothes. I made the shirt I'm wearing. So if you need someone who makes good clothes, I make decent clothes. And I'm also an architect. I mean, go on my Instagram. You kind of have a rough idea of what I do. And yes, please subscribe to our YouTube.
All channels.
Subscribe to our Spotify. Also on Apple Podcast. Everything. Just follow us everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah.
So until next time, guys, I'm Michael Scenario.
And I'm Murray Walgonkoya.
And we'll see you next time.